Well, here we are again, back in Mittenrahm, in the Brakenrahm inside Mawn. We are also at the end of the 104th week in the end. Yeah, 2 years. Well, I'm going to go around the whole place in a moment. It's obviously not finished, still got several months in here, I think. And Mawn is not finished. These lights represent where I've put some, I think I called it void coral, on the back, and there's going to be something on the inside, probably to match this sort of thing. It'll depend. I don't want to go too crazy. Too much of this is going to be all over the place. There's a little bit. I think this one corresponds to coral. This one doesn't. And then this stuff here, I think I might have to get rid of it. It depends. There's a certain look from back here. Oh, that's actually the living void coral. This stuff here, these things, these are the dead ones, so these are the ones that are going to correspond to something on the inside. So I've done all of the main work and forgot about this stuff, so I've added in a little bit, and you can see here that this doesn't look too bad with this stuff, but this stained glass is actually further up, and I've been looking at maybe bringing it down to the actual outer layer. Not that I was completely happy with this anyway, because this isn't too bad, but the gap gets wider and starts to kind of just become bitty and kind of eh. So I will have to revisit that. But yeah, anyway. So I'm just doing some floor work, putting in a few spikes of things popping up. And yeah, it's not going too badly. Doesn't look too badly. Found an opportunity to maybe include some of the pseudo blood that the mist is trying to form. Well, not trying to, just sort of randomly forming into. The general idea, this is kind of like a void vapor, very insubstantial. This is a void mist. It has a flow to it, kind of water-like. And then it's possible for this stuff to reform itself randomly into the blood. I first did this up here when I was just messing around with the concept, and it's not too bad. Yeah, I'll have to see what happens when I start to put a little more in. I'll need to try and keep it focused so they actually form a stream, rather than just fills in random spaces. That would probably make it look worse. As you can see, I'm working on some lesser spikes. Still obviously have this front shaft to do. Still debating what will be done. But I have moved forward with this concept. I think this one was always like this. I'd just cover them up, and then I just had this idea that I could adjust these. So instead of being picking between the red and the blue, I actually mimicked the anti-elements, or the what are they called? I had it yesterday. I was with the word for it. It's like the 4 deaths, something along those lines. I've had a slight revision in what they are. So you've got it's destruction, disease, yeah, destruction, disease. Oh no, decay. Oh crap. What would I come up with? Okay, I think this is definitely decay. This is entropy. This is dysfunction. And I think I'm still struggling with what the green is. Something along those lines, anyway. But yeah, there's a little bit of work to do inside, obviously, in the tree in the middle as well, if I still do it. I took a stab. Oh, I forgot about it. I've been trying to take a stab at doing something a little more extra with the warp. It's only partially done, but not too bad. Put some pink stained glass, which I've noted a long time ago is kind of distinctly orange or peach-like in the end. So I may experiment with that, see what that's like all the way around. I have tried other colours, see what I can come up with. I mean, it might look nice, but I need it to be a little more meaningful than just, did it look okay? Like, I might be better off just leaving it pink. Well, not pink, but, you know, using the purple and magenta rather than introduce this interesting but meaningless coloration. But, oh yeah, with these three things, you know, I'm going to do the same on the other side, just haven't gotten around to it. It might be tricky with this one up here because I think those, it might not be that one. Oh yeah, these ones got buried because this was the first one and it doesn't bow out like the others do. So yeah, gonna have to keep an eye on it. And my potion of night vision is wearing off, which seems like a good point to just go over with what I've been doing for the last 2 years. Might as well start from the beginning, I suppose. Began with the Etherin. Back in the beginning of August. I think I actually started in July. I may have lost count of the weeks. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Could have sworn I began in July. I have a screenshot, and the screenshots are dated, so I could confirm. Yeah, so I put up this big guy. He's yeah, it's nice to come and look at it once in a while. Give it a bit of a buzz. It took the longest. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I think I was projecting like 14 or 15 months when I did it, and I think 11. I definitely underestimated how quickly it would go once I was at the point where the only stuff to do was repetition of something I'd already done. So that sped things up a lot. Yeah, I do from time to time think there are some tweaks that could be done. Might be an idea, nothing major or anything like that, but I'm generally satisfied with it. But yeah, after this was done, I have explained what these are, but it was a very long time ago. And these are the primordials, the Four Kings as they're also known. They are comparable to the Four Anti-Elements, but also to the main elements. So in a nod to one of the major inspirations for the ethering, what you have here is fear, anger, hate, and suffering. And I always feel obliged to explain that basically the suffering is he has been burdened by the previous three, which I think may have been the original meaning, the idea of it, rather than the idea that the individual would project the suffering onto others, which they obviously do. I think the individual suffers as well, so kind of the idea. It's kind of like an Atlas depiction, carrying the weight of the world, even though that's not what Atlas did, but you know, for some reason that's how he became known. But anyway, after all that, I moved on to the end island and these two, but we'll look at the island first. And this is a depiction of the ether, or what's left of the ether after the destruction of Mawn, or that Mawn brought. Obviously these are purpose-built islands. This is original. There's a few very small islands off to the side. But these ones were done by using the fill command to just generate a block of blocks and then molding them afterwards. And me being me, you can see that they've still kind of retained a little bit too much blockiness. I didn't really go too crazy. Yeah, just representing some of the layers of the world and how it might have looked. I think this is supposed to have been underwater, but it may actually have just been surrounded by ether rather than actually submerged. They had both of those things here, so it could be either. And this is obviously part of the deep places of the world, such as they had. And again, these are representing what it used to look like while the slow decay caused by Mawn appearing continues to eat away at it. This is one of the most powerful locations within the dimension, which is why it's still going, was where most of the rest of the dimension is probably just in stone now. I've obviously repurposed the pillars. I tend not to explain it usually on camera, but this is actually one of the mouths of Mawn, the middle one, which is actually broken off. It was kind of petrified when it appeared and snapped off. So yeah. And then the temple is actually much later. The temple has been built by, I think, void cultists from the overworld, rather than anybody who was actually living here. And again, the 4 anti-elements have been depicted. I think this one is decay because it's representing rust, like I was saying, which is why the red is the rust. This was death, but it's switched into entropy. This was poison, but I feel like poison and disease are too similar. So I think this is disease, but more perhaps generally not decay. What did I use? I only said it a few minutes ago. Dysfunction? Yeah. Things going wrong with whatever. So it's like the decay of an object, the just outright end of the object's function, state of dysfunction, and then whatever this one was. Just thinking to myself the other day, it wasn't actually recorded very well. My mind's blank. I only thought of it once and then moved on to other things, so it's kind of gone. It was a D though. I was trying very hard to think of 4 D words, but I obviously felt inclined to switch death to entropy. So this is Aurelian. He comes from the overworld. He is the Lord of the Elements. Wings were a bit of a fight, I remember. And the horns, just a little. Robes probably came out the best and the easiest. I'm never happy with the pose from the front, because it's very narrow, very thin looking. As well from the side, it's a little bit more dynamic. And this is Alen, the son of Mawn. He was created. They used the dead Lord of the Elements that came from this dimension and combined him with some components of Mawn and created this guy. And again, he's also carrying the theme of the anti-elements. The one thing I did here that I've never done before, and I've only seen a very small group of people try, is lighting an object as if it is, well, texturing an object as if it is being lit by something. And I thought, this beam is going to be giving off some serious light. So yeah, I gave it a shot. I think the lime concrete's maybe too bright, but I think the rest of it's not too bad. I carried it on, and there's a little bit more actually as it goes through the mouth. No, I forgot about that. It's marking a mistake that I've made that I need to rectify. Not that anybody is ever going to really notice it. Yep. I'm not actually sure how long I've been working on this, to be honest. I don't think it's taken longer than the Etherin did. I mean, the Etherin has multiple floors in place, or all of the floors are in place, and walls and stuff, and tiny bits of decoration done within. So there's a lot to the interior. I don't know. That light won't be visible. That's a light coming from inside with holes. I think meant to... probably where I went in to make sure I was in the right location. There used to be more gaps, and it actually just occurred to me that what I might do, and the intention of the gaps was to do what's kind of happening there on that one. You get ripples of light as you move around. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to... I think maybe putting some stairs in, like on the side of them, so that you can get that little quarter block space poking through, and put a lot on that, and that maybe accomplish the same thing. I am currently again in favour of putting this in on all of the heads, it won't come back any further than this one. Like, this is what it will look like if I do it. But I'm going to do it all the way around on the most visible parts. So this inner bit will be dark still, and then it will stop there as well. Or at least maybe use the gilded black stone, which is what's going on here. Anyway, let's take us back inside and say a deer so I can actually get on with some stuff. Obviously a very long video because of the little door. Obviously see it's not very visible, which is why I'm being a little cautious about getting over involved in the precise appearance. So yeah, I need to, yeah, I tried to keep that in mind. Something I actually did when I logged on today. I decided that the white banners for the sail were too visible. They stand out like a sore thumb. So yeah, they've been toned down. Yeah, get back to doing some of these. They look like they're not placed too badly. Oh, I've done 6. Weird. Oh, I think I meant to get rid of one of these. I wonder which one. I scratched my head about that. Anyway, I'll say it, dear.